Okay, so I'm all in for standing up for what you believe in, but stealing a corner flag, was that really necessary unless it's going to be part of a campaign for Flag Lives Matter versus Jamie Vardy? Other than that, it's a tiny bit strange. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'll be talking about the protests that happened at Old Trafford yesterday that caused the game between Manchester United and Liverpool, one of the biggest games of the season, to be postponed. I'm going to be talking about why I understand where these fans are coming from, what message they wanted to send, what message was sent, but most importantly, I want to talk about why the fans took it a step too far. Now, of course, getting into this, I think the first thing we have to look at, why did the fans do this? I always feel like when you look at a murder case, the first question you have to ask at court is, why did they murder anyone? And look, although you can never justify murder, just like how you can't justify what these fans did, you do have to ask, why did they do them? And why did the fans do this versus Manchester United? Why did they go and protest outside and inside of the stadium? Because they're unhappy with the Glazers. That is the simplest answer. And to be honest, I understand where the fans come from in terms of if you've been building anger up inside of you for like 10 years, you're going to end up popping eventually. But you know what? The fans, what they did yesterday, they obviously had their whole protest outside of the stadium. They protested inside the stadium. They touched every single seat around them. They touched the ball. They broke equipment. They injured an official. And by doing that, it was a step too far. Now, obviously, Manchester United fans, as I said, have not been happy with the Glazers for years. And wanting to create and be part of this European Super League, that was the final step for the fans. They are definitely not happy. They want the Glazers out. But by injuring and affecting people who have had no say in this whatsoever, like that official that got injured during this whole protest, I mean, do you think he has any say in what the Glazers do? Do you think Joel Glazer walks up to him in the morning before getting dressed in his tighty whitey saying, what shirts should I wear today? No, he definitely doesn't. And in terms of everything else that happened, I mean, touching the seats, touching the ball, we forget, or some people seem to forget, that we live in an era where everything has to be sanitized after touching it. Everything had to be re-sanitized. The equipment that was broken has to be replaced. And do you think Joel Glazer is going to come through in his tighty whities on his private jet to the stadium and fix everything and clean everything and sanitize everything himself? Definitely not. He's going to flick a penny someone else's way to do it for him. You know what? Standing outside of the stadium, that is what made the biggest impact. That was a huge reason to why the European Super League was called off, because fans stood outside of the stadiums with their banners and they made their voices heard. You know what? I think Manchester United fans, by staying outside of the stadium, if you did that until the end of the season, there's no way the owners would have stayed at the club. And I will say this, Manchester United, although Manchester City are going to be the ones lifting the silverware, I think getting rid of Woodward and Glazers in one season, that would be bigger than a trophy, in my opinion. But you know what? By staying outside of the stadium with your banners, that would have been enough. There's no reason to get inside of the stadium, which, can we just ask why the stewards thought it was 2016 and why they had to do the mannequin challenge? Can we just ask how all those fans got in? But you know what? By the fans getting in and affecting other people and other people's jobs, they ended up really just going a step too far. I mean, once again, Manchester United has always been known for their field, how beautiful it is, the maintenance of the whole club. People have to go clean up the mess that was made and re-sanitize and go through the whole process now because of the fans. Once again, the fans wanted to send a message, and what a message this shall send, by the way. Look, I'm not saying all negatives have come from this. I think by what these fans have done, obviously they held up the players by the hotel they were staying at. They stopped the buses pretty much. I mean, look, by the time the game was supposed to start, I mean, the players were still in their bus and they hadn't even left yet. But you know what? I think definitely the fans made their voices heard, so it's going to be interesting to see what the Glazers do from this point. Look, I don't understand that. Look, I do it on YouTube, so I guess tiny bit different, and I definitely get that feeling sometimes. But if everyone hated what I did, I don't know how I would be able to continue doing what I was doing. And the Glazers, especially, having all the hate towards them since before even the Mourinho era, they've just had hate thrown at them. And you know what? Maybe it's a different mentality. Maybe if you are making a ton of money, you think to yourself, you know what? People hate me, but I'm living pretty comfortably. It doesn't matter to me. But you know what? What these fans have done by standing outside of the stadium, by going into the stadium with all the havoc and chaos they created, I think a message was definitely sent. Alright guys, I think that'll be the end of today's video. Sorry, I know it is a very short video, but I just wanted to voice my opinion on the matter. And just to put the video in summary, I understand why the fans did this. They were extremely angry, but at the end of the day, the message was sent. But the one thing I have to tell the fans is make sure you just send the message to the person who needs to see it. Don't make it a broadcast message. Don't impact the people who have had no say in this whatsoever. Send the message to the Glazers. That is it. Don't send any sort of message or impact any sort of groundsman, officials, anyone who has had no say in what the Glazers have done. Make sure you send the message to the Glazers and don't impact anyone else. Try to be as professional about this as possible. Go in with your goal. Try to achieve that goal in the most efficient way possible. But guys, this has been fun. FYNN. Going to be interesting to see what happens about this. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Glazers in, Glazers out. Do you think the Glazers will be affected by this? Do you think they'll leave or do you think they'll stay? But guys, this will be the end of today's video. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.